Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we have a slightly different kind of video for you. This one is going to be a little bit more about culture, although there will be some food and recipes involved. So keep on watching to see what this is all about. Easter is fast approaching, and while we don't always celebrate it, especially if we aren't in Denmark, it's a very special time of year in the Scandinavian countries. Many people celebrate this as a religious holiday, but there are also a lot of cultural traditions built up around this time of year. So let's talk a bit about a few of them. Easter in Scandinavia is a long weekend, so people don't have to work, and that means it's really a time built for spending quality time with friends and family, and with a nod to the Nordic pagan roots, celebrating the arrival of spring, of course. Traditions are similar but different between the Scandinavian countries. For example, in Sweden, as well as in Finland, little kids dress up as witches and go door to door asking for candy. Now, you might think that sounds a lot like Halloween, and in fact, the two holidays both have their roots in pagan festivals, which is why they kind of seem a bit similar. In Norway and Denmark, though, people don't do this on Easter. Instead, witches are more of a central element for other festivals and traditions like Sankt Hans, which takes place in June and involves burning effigies of witches on the beach, and that also traces back to pagan festivals as well. So similar but different. In Norway and Sweden, skiing is also a very popular way to spend your Easter break, so enjoying barbecues with friends and family outside and spending some cozy time in a ski cabin. One thing that all the Scandinavian countries do have in common, though, as I'm sure many other countries do as well, is that people love to eat and drink at Easter. That brings us to the Danish påskefrokost, or Danish Easter lunch, which is what we want to talk about in a little bit more detail today. More specifically, we want to look at Smørrebrød. An Easter lunch in Denmark is not just any lunch. It is a massive meal that takes place over several hours and involves lots of food, lots of bread, lots of beer, and lots of snaps. Now, snaps, you may know it as aquavit, but it's a very strong alcoholic spirit, and people do like a shot every time they eat a piece of smørrebrød. That's sort of the traditional way of doing it. If you know any Danes, make sure to ask them about if they have any good stories from their company Christmas lunch or Easter lunch or family Easter lunch, and I'm sure they'll have some stuff to tell you because, God, people do really drink a lot at these things. But for us, the most important part, of course, is the food. And at Christmas lunch, at Easter lunch, Danes enjoy smørrebrød. So what is smørrebrød? Smørrebrød are open-faced sandwiches. If you've been to Denmark or you've heard of Danish cuisine before, you'll have seen this come up because it's Denmark's national dish. In its most simple form, smørrebrød is just rye bread with toppings on top. So super simple and just really delicious way to enjoy simple ingredients and traditions that we all, enjoy every year. So of course, as I'm sure you can guess, the first step to making smørrebrød is the bread. Danish rye bread can be hard to come by, but here are 3 ways in which you can get it if you don't live in Denmark. Now, the first way is to make it from scratch at home. We have a recipe, so you can find it linked on this video if you want to check it out and see if that's something that you would like to try out. Alternatively, though, you can go to Scandinavian stores and buy or order online and buy this mix, which I like to do because it's just a bit of a quicker way to get really pretty good tasting rye bread when you don't live in Denmark. And in the UK, you can go to Scandi Kitchen in London or order online to get that. In the US on the East Coast, there's a store in Connecticut called Scandinavian Boutique, and they also have this. And then the third way is to buy German rye bread, which you can get in a lot of stores in the US and the UK, and I'm sure in other countries as well. If you can find something similar that's quite dense and has a lot of seeds, then that will work well enough. It'll work okay. But if you can get your hands on Danish rye bread, of course, that's what we would recommend. So now I want to show you my 3 favorite smørrebrød and how you can build them. Let's go! The first is liver pate, the second is mackerel in tomato sauce, and the third is pickled herring. We start with a plate of our garnishes and our rye bread and have both close at hand to make things easier. Then Add a thick layer of liver pate. Pate of your choice, this is chicken liver pate, but pork liver pate is the traditional version. Then add pickled beets, crispy fried onions, and green onions or spring onions on top. The second slice starts the traditional way with a thick layer of butter. We then add the mackerel and tomato sauce on top and add some mayonnaise. That's optional. I like that on top. And then some beautiful slices of cucumber and your garnish. In this case, I used lamb's lettuce, but microgreens are good as well. For the third slice, it starts the same way, thick layer of butter, and then we add our pickled herring on top. Top with crispy slices of beautiful fresh radish, thinly sliced pieces of red onion for that sharp, delicious flavor, and then some garnish on top as well, lettuce or microgreens. And there you have it, 3 beautiful pieces of smørrebrød. Again, these are my 3 favorites. There are so many variations, and obviously I didn't include a vegetarian one, but if you are vegetarian, there are options out there for you, although slightly more limited. Sorry. But a potato smørrebrød is very underrated, in my opinion, so one to try. So did you learn anything new from this video? If you did, let us know in the comments, and of course, subscribe so you can see our next videos. We hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go tuck into my lunch now. And happy Easter! We hope you have a lovely holiday, and if you don't celebrate, we just hope you enjoy the arrival of spring and the days getting a bit longer and a bit more sunshine. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next video. Bye!